Welcome everyone, I need you to sub to this channel. I'm going to be talking about the Tupac song now. It is called Bury Me a G, and for a lot of you that want to know the history to this song, I was able to do some research, and thanks to the help of DJ Skandalous, who provided us with most of the information for this podcast tonight, I was able to put together the concise history of this Tupac song, Bury Me a G. Now, a lot of people don't know that there are three versions of this song, and it gets a bit complicated because all three versions have some relatable elements to them, but they're actually separate songs that were recorded. So some of them, share lyrics, some of them don't, some of them have unreleased verses to them. But Bury Me a G has a total of three versions, and all three versions, it appears, were recorded at different times for different projects that Tupac had that were scrapped, and then later some of those songs were recycled. And I'm going to put it to you like this, that one of the songs was the original Bury Me a G was recorded for a concept prototype album which never really released in the form that Tupac envisioned, and that was for the Are You Still Down album in 93, but it is stressed that it is not the version that we got in 97 after his death. So there was an Are You Still Down album to complicate things that Tupac had penned many years before the release of the retail version of the Are You Still Down album. Now, the original version of Bury Me a G was meant for this prototype version of Are You Still Down? But, of course, a different version of that Are You Still Down album was released in 97 after Pac's death. Now, Bury Me a G also managed to appear on one of Tupac's concept track lists, alongside songs like Stay True, Crucified, and Fuck the World. And these concepts eventually split into Thug Life and Me Against the World. Now, the Thug Life version of Bury Me a G appears to be the song that Tupac recorded first, the very first Bury Me a G. So this made its way to Thug Life. And then it appears that at some point after that song was recorded, there was a solo version of the song recorded, possibly for Tupac's own album release. And then a radio version of the song was also recorded. Now, since Tupac reshuffled this album, the solo version was scrapped, and another solo song called Shit Don't Stop was also released featuring Thug Life. Now, the same thing happened with this song. A posse cut was made, and the solo version with Pac got scrapped. Now, the Bury Me a G radio version is a bit different. I'm going to explain why in a minute. But the solo version of Bury Me a G retail, right, to give you an indicator, so it has only two Tupac verses in it, the first verse and the fourth verse. Then you have Bury Me a G solo, where Tupac has 4 verses. In Bury Me a G solo, the first verse and the fourth verse are almost the same as the Bury Me a G song retail, but have slightly variant endings to their verses. Now, verse 2 and verse 3 are completely unreleased. So yes, that's correct. So one of the versions of this song has 2 completely unleaked and unreleased verses that we can only hope that we hear sometime. So it's amazing, but yes, there is another version of Bury Me a G out of the 3 versions, which have 2 verses that have never been heard for the solo effort that Tupac did for this song. So he recorded a version that has 2 verses. He recorded a second version that has slightly different verses, and also 2 verses of those 4 were unreleased. so no one's heard them. And now the Bury Me G radio version of the song, the third version, which I just mentioned before, actually features the Outlawz, and it features, Gaddafi, Napoleon, Edie, and Castro. This actually has a new Tupac verse on it and a radio-friendly hook. So it seems that there was a lot of, different concepts of this song, or different versions done of this song by Tupac. But as far as we know, there are 3 versions, and it appears that there are 2 verses on one of those songs that have never been heard by the general public. So it's a bit complicated, but that's the history of this song. There was a lot that was done with Pac and doing different, iterations of songs. So he used the same song title, similar concepts, but decided to redo those songs. So it seems that a lot of songs have been redone, and Tupac did different versions of them, and Bury Me G is no different. So it's interesting because I actually learned that, there was a actual solo Tupac song called Shit Don't Stop that we never heard. And it seems that there's a lot of songs out there that have been overlooked because they share the same name, but they may have completely brand new verses. So I learned a lot about, Tupac's work ethic, and, I knew it was crazy, he had a crazy work ethic, but when you start seeing that he did so many versions of these songs, and, there's probably a lot more songs out there than even people realize. It's incredible. But anyway, that's where it stands with Bury Me G. Be sure to sub to the channel. That's the history I was able to find out about this song. I know it's a bit confusing because when you start talking about different versions of different songs that have, similar verses and unreleased verses, it can be a little complex. But that's the history of this song. Let me know what you think. Big ups to DJ Skandalous for giving us the info to these songs. Can't do it without him. He's incredible. Be sure to sub to this channel. I'm Emcee Rapology. And also, I give a big shout out to Larry Harris, who brings to my attention these songs. I hit up DJ Skandalous, asking him the intel on these songs, and he provides me with concise information, the concise information that I need to get these podcasts done. So big ups to everyone involved in the process. I'm Emcee Rapology. Be sure to sub to my channel. Peace.